football fans? Here we are on episode number 13 of Nick's Who Gives a Crap Football Update, aka Nick by the Buffalo. I'm back by the Buffalo this week. Got exciting stuff I want to cover this week in the football world. But first and foremost, I want to take the opportunity to thank everybody again who does watch my channel on a regular basis, who does subscribe, and who does like these videos. I continue to get a lot of good feedback from everybody about the videos. I really appreciate it a whole lot. This has just been fun for me to do this. Like I said, I haven't been taking this uber seriously, but I do have a lot of fun doing it. I've enjoyed giving my rants on here on a weekly basis. Going to continue that through the football season, and then we'll see what goes from there. But I wanted to take another opportunity to tell everybody this is the reason why this is the channel that you need to subscribe to if you're a football fan, is because I give good breakdown and information. And the reason I'm saying that is because I've been telling you on this channel, as an Oklahoma State fan, as a person who's on record as not rooting for the Sooners, I was telling you for months, for weeks, and over a month, I've been telling you that the Oklahoma Sooners would make the college playoff. Everybody on your ESPN, on your Fox Sports, all those major networks and all those major news outlets were telling us for weeks and weeks that the Oklahoma Sooners were on the outside looking in and weren't going to make it. I watched shows where they're like, we're going to go ahead and take the Sooners and take them out. I told you on this channel multiple times that Oklahoma would make the college playoffs, and here we are. I told you before the season began, Iowa State was way overrated. Here we are. Iowa State is way overrated. I told you before the season, Odell Beckham, Odell Victim Jr. is a cancer, causes problems. Here we are. He's causing problems and he's a cancer. I told you before that the Browns were not going to have a good season. Here we are. I told you the Dallas Cowboys, their defense was going to determine how far they made it this year. They're not making it very far because their defense is not stopping anybody. And I talked to you about Jason Garrett and his future prospects. That looks like his season's about to be over and his career with the Dallas Cowboys is about to be over. So I can go on and on. There were things I was wrong about. I told you that the Texas Longhorns would finish second. I was wrong there. A couple other things I mentioned I know throughout the season that probably didn't turn out right. A couple of predictions here and there. However, I also said Oklahoma State would finish third in the Big 12 and predicted them to finish 8-4 in the regular season. 8-4 in the regular season, finished third in the Big 12. So I'm just want to remind everybody there's a reason why I feel like this football channel is one that you've got to continue to look in on and have to continue to check out what I've got to say. Like I said, I know there's a lot of opinions out there. A lot of what I give is opinions. And I want people to agree with me, disagree with me. I like to have a good sports debate. So let's kick this thing off. Let's go ahead and stick into the college football thing. So I told you all along, like I mentioned, the Sooners would make the playoff. I also said that the Sooners would lose in the first round of the playoffs. I still feel that's the case. They drew the LSU Tigers as the first game they have to compete at. LSU, I feel like, is the best team in the country. Ohio State's very good as well. I think LSU and Ohio State will be playing in that national championship game in several weeks from now. Oklahoma State made the Texas Bowl down there in Houston. Excited about that. They're going to be playing Texas A&M, a program that I've never liked. I've never liked the Texas A&M Aggies when they were in the Big 12. I was happy to see them leave the Big 12, to be honest with you. So we'll see how that goes. Mike is a superb coach at preparation for bowl games. Has a very good bowl game record. I really enjoy watching Oklahoma State in bowl games. Sooner fans will say, yeah, you all play in the toilet bowl every year. Whatever. I enjoy watching them play the bowl games. He'll have that team ready to go. Chuba may not play in that game, as the rumor has it. He's getting prepared for the NFL. Chuba's going to be, in my eyes, a first-round draft pick into the NFL, if not an early second-round draft pick. So there you go. That's the breakdown with the college football. My Heisman pick, I feel like Joe Burrows is going to win it. I think Joe Burrows is a big jerk, honestly. I think the kid's not very classy. I think he is a superb talent at the quarterback position, but he's way too cocky for me, and he's way too arrogant. I saw some tweets from him years ago that were not very flattering as well. He had some rude and inappropriate comments he's made in his past, which are be careful what you put out there. I'm on a YouTube channel. I hope that I don't put anything disrespectful out here ever. That's not my MO. If I do, please let me know. And so we'll go forward with that. Let's kick over to the NFL. Talk about the way things are shaking out tonight. The Baltimore Ravens are going to be playing the New York Jets. Ravens should take care of business. I still am having problems here with this Lamar Jackson business. I get it. I understand Lamar Jackson. I've enjoyed watching him run around the field looking like Barry Sanders at times, looking like Michael Vick at times. But we've seen this before. I'm going to remind everybody. Let's pump the brakes a bit here. I'm going to go on a limb here because this is the team that everybody's talking about, as being unbeatable, and that's why they're undefeated, right? Oh, wait a minute. They're not undefeated. That's right. They did lose some games this year. So they're not unbeatable at any stretch of the imagination. And it does remind me, though, Lamar Jackson, that's the reason why he won the national championship in college. Oh, wait a minute. He didn't win the national championship in college. That's right. He was stoppable in games in college. The guy's very talented. He's not an unstoppable quarterback. We're making this guy unstoppable. Like last year, I love Patrick Mahomes. It was getting to a point where people were making it like Patrick was unstoppable. He got into the playoffs and it was a different animal. That's what's going to happen to the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens will not win the Super Bowl. The NFC has the better teams in my eyes. I have 3 teams in the NFC right as it stands today that I feel are better. And it's coming off the heels of some performances last week that weren't so flattering for some of these teams. But I still feel like the New Orleans Saints are a superb team. I think you can't deny the San Francisco 49ers are a very talented team, as much as it makes me want to vomit to say that. The 49ers are well coached, very well coached, have great talent on the defensive side, run the ball well. Just their scheme works very well. And I still feel like the Russell Wilson Seahawks can do a lot of damage in the postseason. The Ravens, I can see the Ravens. They almost got beat by the Bills. I can see one of these teams with a good defensive mindset and good coaching, out coaching the Ravens. Harbaugh's a good coach. Don't get me wrong. But that is a one-dimensional offense. I'm never a fan of one-dimensional offenses once we get into the playoffs. That's the reason why I've talked before about running quarterbacks and how they ultimately don't win Super Bowls. There's never been a run-first quarterback win a Super Bowl. You could make some arguments about some guys that were mobile, like Steve Young and people like that. But I just feel like when you get those quarterbacks, you got to be able to stand back in that pocket and deliver the passes down the field to score to win Super Bowls. So I could even see a Pittsburgh Steelers team upsetting the Ravens in the playoffs. I really honestly could. A team that's well coached, does good defense, and can neutralize Lamar Jackson. I still think the Patriots, I know they beat the Patriots a few weeks ago, but I still see the Patriots as a team that could, in a second opportunity against the Ravens, could show us some stuff. Now, I also told you a few weeks ago, are we afraid to say the New England Patriots are not as good as they used to be? That's kind of looking to be true. I'm thinking there's some problems there. We talked about it there a few weeks ago, but they're not having some of the weapons on the offensive side of the ball. So let's stay tuned there. I'm not so sure that the Patriots are going to be repeating. However, I've learned my lesson, as many people have. I don't like questioning Belichick and Brady at this point. Let's just see how it turns out. But I do see some problems there on that side. So let's wrap up this week with the Dallas Cowboys. God help me. The Dallas Cowboys, this has been brutal week after week, week after week. They're not showing up. They've obviously, there's a misfire there. I heard some breakdowns this week. I can't take credit for these breakdowns, but I heard some breakdowns about Kellen Moore, these better defensive coordinators really having his number. And I think that's what we're seeing here. That also falls on Jason Garrett. So I've talked a little bit about the coaching search that I think we will have there. I still have my front runner that I would prefer. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I still would prefer that Sean Payton be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I hear the Urban Meyer news. I hear the Lincoln Riley news. I hear Josh McDaniels. I think Josh McDaniels is the smartest hire, honestly, of all of those. The smartest, most realistic hire. Sean Payton being the best hire in my eyes for the team. I've even heard wild rumors about Nick Saban. I would love that. That's not going to happen. But it leads me back to, I want to make my last point here about the Dallas Cowboys, and that's about Jerry Jones. I talked about it before. I am, if not the biggest Jerry Jones fan, I'm one of. You could label me as a Jerry Jones apologist, and I'm fine with that. Get into several debates with friends and family. about Jerry Jones, and here's my thing. And I want to stand up for this because not very many people stick up for Jerry, and this is why I'm going to do it. They talk about that Jerry wants a puppet as a coach. That's absolutely not the truth. He's had coaches like Jason Garrett that have the appearance of puppet coaches. Dave Campo seemed like a puppet coach. Chan Gailey wasn't, but he didn't have a very long tenure there. Wade Phillips is kind of in the middle there. I could see you looking at that. But he had Bill Parcells, he had Jimmy Johnson. Those were definitely not puppet coaches. But what I want to speak to specifically, and I understand what happened to Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was run out of town with their egos conflicting there. Both men admit it today. That's undisputable. Jerry admits his mistake there as well. That he shouldn't have let his ego get in the way of letting Jimmy leave. However, I want to talk about Bill Parcells specifically because I've heard a lot of inaccurate reports out there, and I want to clear this up. I've heard reports of people saying that Bill Parcells and Jerry couldn't get along, and that's the reason why that ended. That's never has Bill Parcells gone on record as saying anything negative about his relationship with Jerry Jones. So that is an inaccurate report that's out there. Unless you're Bill Parcells and Jerry Jones and you know of something that's never been reported. He has never gone on record as telling anybody that there was any issues with that. I heard people talk about that. It was Bill Parcells that talked about Jerry Jones, you got to let him shop for the groceries if he's going to cook the meal. He did not say that to Jerry Jones. You can pull up videos online. Go ahead and YouTube the Bill Parcells video up. I actually shared one a couple weeks ago on my Facebook page about him saying that. Bill Parcells said that while he's sitting in front of a New England Patriots logo. He said that as head coach of the New England Patriots. That was years before he even became head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He was the Jets coach after that. So he came to Dallas with that whole perception there that you can't run the Cowboys. Then he hired Bill Parcells, who's not a yes man. He hired Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells, people say Jerry doesn't let his coaches pick players and doesn't let them make decisions. Bill Parcells picked every player while he was there. He picked DeMarcus Ware. He picked Jason Witten. Tony Romo was his guy. He brought in free agents that were his guys. He brought in Drew Bledsoe. He brought in Terry Glenn. Bill Parcells drafted everybody that he wanted. Jerry Jones gave Bill Parcells that power. We changed the whole defensive scheme for Bill Parcells. Then they said, well, then why did he leave then? He went, that's Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells' history has been to leave jobs. He won 2 Super Bowls with the New York Giants, and he burned out. I love Bill Parcells. He's my favorite NFL coach that I've ever. He and Marty Schottenheimer are the 2 NFL coaches that I respect the most. Tony Dungy being another one of those coaches. But Bill Parcells is the one I just love and study in his coaching history and philosophies. Well, he left the Giants after winning a Super Bowl shortly after because of the stress. He ended up at New England. He went to a Super Bowl and lost to the Green Bay Packers. He left the New England Patriots. As I mentioned before, we talked about cooking and buying the groceries, so on and so forth. He went to the New York Jets. The New York Jets, he was only there a couple of years, took him to the AFC Championship, and he left. Dallas Cowboys, he was there, I believe, 3 seasons. They got that 1 year. They went 13-3. Had Tony Romo, was playing out of his mind. It was the famous Tony Romo fumble on the snap that was going to be a game-winning kick. That year, they looked poised to make a deep run at the playoffs. It took a lot out of Bill, and he stepped away from coaching. Bill stepped away from coaching totally. So to pin that on Jerry Jones is an inaccurate statement. Jerry is willing to hire the coach that he feels gives him the best chance to win. Jerry hired Jason Garrett because he loves Jason Garrett. What Jerry likes is he likes to be able to say he's the guy that did it. He's the guy that discovered that person. He's the guy. It's his guy. And that's his fault. But to say that he's not willing to hire a coach that has a brain and a coach that has a say in things is 100% not accurate. And I'm tired of hearing people say it. So that's what I wanted to get on here and talk about this week. I hope that you have had a great couple of weeks. I didn't get to be on here last week, but I was excited to get back on here and talk about football again this week. I want you to know, I appreciate all the likes, all the good comments. I hear people tell me just out when I'm talking and that they enjoy this channel, and I really, really, really appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say those things. If you continue to like what I say, give me a thumbs up. If you don't like what I say, give me the thumbs down. Give me the comments if you don't agree with something I said. You think I'm full of crap? Give it to me. And I want you to know, I hope that you have a blessed football weekend. Take care.